In a world where stress, anger, and impulsive reactions have become the norm, have you ever wondered if there's a better way to handle life's challenges? Imagine having the power to stay calm, make wiser decisions, and live a life free from regret. Gautam Buddha's timeless wisdom holds the key to mastering your emotions and unlocking a life of peace and fulfillment. This isn't just ancient philosophy, it's a practical guide to navigating the chaos of modern life with grace and wisdom. Stay tuned to discover how you can take control of your emotions and transform your life. The story of the angry man, a lesson in emotional mastery. Let's begin by revisiting one of the most famous stories attributed to Buddha, often referred to as the story of the angry man. One day, as Buddha was traveling through a village, a man approached him and began hurling insults. The man was furious and full of anger, trying to provoke Buddha into reacting. But to the man's surprise, Buddha remained calm, composed, and unmoved by the barrage of insults. After a while, when the man realized that his words were having no effect, he asked Buddha, "Why do you not respond to my insults? Why do you stay silent?" Buddha, with his characteristic serenity, replied with a question of his own. "If someone offers you a gift and you choose not to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man thought for a moment and then responded, "It would still belong to the person who offered it." Buddha smiled and said, "In the same way, if I do not accept your anger and insults, they remain with you." This simple yet profound story encapsulates a powerful truth. We have the choice to accept or reject the negativity that others try to impose on us. When we choose not to react, we protect our inner peace and maintain control over our emotional state. This story serves as a foundation for understanding the deeper aspects of emotional control and the power of not reacting. The nature of emotions, understanding the source. Before we delve further into how to control our emotions, it is essential to understand what emotions are and where they come from. Emotions are complex psychological states that arise in response to our thoughts, experiences, and interactions with the world. They are often accompanied by physiological changes, such as an increased heart rate or a rush of adrenaline, and can influence our behavior and decision-making processes. Buddha's teachings suggest that emotions are natural and inevitable. They are part of the human experience. However, the key lies not in suppressing these emotions, but in understanding and mastering them. According to Buddha, much of our suffering arises from our attachment to transient emotions and the tendency to react impulsively based on them. For example, when someone insults us, the immediate emotional response might be anger or hurt. These emotions are natural, but our reaction, whether we lash out in anger or internalize the hurt, determines whether the situation escalates or is diffused. Buddha taught that by observing our emotions without becoming entangled in them, we can prevent unnecessary suffering and maintain our inner peace. The philosophy behind nonreaction. At the heart of Buddha's teachings on emotional control is the concept of equanimity, a state of mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in difficult situations. Equanimity allows us to remain balanced and unaffected by the highs and lows of life. It is not about being indifferent or passive, but about responding to situations with wisdom and clarity rather than being driven by emotional impulses. Buddha's emphasis on equanimity is rooted in his broader teachings on the impermanence of all things. He taught that everything in life, our emotions, thoughts, experiences, and even our bodies, is transient and subject to change. By understanding the impermanent nature of emotions, we can learn not to be swayed by them. Instead of reacting immediately, we can take a step back, observe our emotions, and choose a response that aligns with our long-term well-being. This philosophy is beautifully illustrated in another story from Buddha's life. One day, a young man approached Buddha and asked him, "How can I attain happiness and peace?" Buddha replied, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This teaching underscores the importance of mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. The role of mindfulness in emotional control. Mindfulness is a key practice in Buddhist philosophy and is essential for developing the power of not reacting. By cultivating mindfulness, we can become more aware of our emotional triggers and learn to observe our emotions without getting caught up in them. This awareness creates a space between the stimulus, the event that triggers the emotion, and our response, allowing us to choose our actions more wisely. For example, imagine you are in a heated argument with a friend. The natural impulse might be to react defensively or to say something hurtful in return. However, if you are mindful, you can notice the anger rising within you and choose not to act on it immediately. Instead, you might take a deep breath, acknowledge your feelings, and then respond calmly or decide to step away from the situation until you can address it more constructively. Mindfulness is not about suppressing emotions. It's about observing them with curiosity and compassion. By doing so, we can gain insight into the root causes of our emotions and address them more effectively. Over time, this practice helps to reduce the intensity of negative emotions and enhances our ability to respond to life's challenges with equanimity. Practical techniques for developing emotional control. Developing the power of not reacting and controlling our emotions is a gradual process that requires consistent practice. Here are some practical techniques based on Buddha's teachings that can help. 1. Mindfulness. Meditation. Regular meditation practice is one of the most effective ways to develop mindfulness and emotional control. During meditation, focus on your breath, observe your thoughts and emotions as they arise, and practice letting them go without attachment. This trains the mind to remain calm and centered, even in the face of strong emotions. 2. Pausing. Before responding. In moments of emotional intensity, practice taking a brief pause before reacting. This pause allows you to step back from the immediate emotional response and consider the situation from a more balanced perspective. Even a few seconds of reflection can make a significant difference in how you choose to respond. 3. Developing compassion. Buddha taught that compassion is a powerful antidote to negative emotions such as anger and resentment. By cultivating compassion for yourself and others, you can soften the impact of emotional triggers and respond with greater understanding and empathy. 4. Detachment from the ego. Much of our reactive behavior stems from the ego's need to defend itself. The ego is often easily hurt or offended, leading to defensive or aggressive reactions. By practicing detachment from the ego, you can view situations more objectively and respond without being driven by the need to protect or assert your identity. 5. Reframing. Negative thoughts. Cognitive reframing is a technique that involves changing the way you perceive a situation. When faced with a challenging or emotionally charged situation, try to reframe it in a more positive or neutral light. For example, Instead of thinking, "This person is deliberately trying to upset me," you might think, "This person is going through their own struggles, and their behavior is not a reflection of me." 6. Gratitude practice. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that can counteract negative feelings such as anger, jealousy, and frustration. By regularly practicing gratitude, focusing on the positive aspects of your life, you can shift your emotional state and reduce the likelihood of reacting negatively to challenging situations. 7. Breath control, pranayama. The breath is closely linked to our emotional state. When we are angry or stressed, our breath becomes shallow and rapid. By practicing deep, slow breathing, you can calm your nervous system and reduce the intensity of negative emotions. Pranayama techniques, such as diaphragmatic breathing or alternate nostril breathing, can be particularly effective in managing emotions. The science of emotional regulation. Modern psychology and neuroscience have also explored the concept of emotional regulation, offering insights that align with Buddha's teachings. Research shows that emotions are processed in the brain's limbic system, particularly in the amygdala, which is responsible for emotional responses. When we encounter a perceived threat or stressor, the amygdala triggers the fight or flight response, leading to a surge of emotions such as fear, anger, or anxiety. However, the brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for higher-order thinking, decision-making, and impulse control, can modulate these emotional responses. By practicing mindfulness and emotional regulation techniques, we can strengthen the connection between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, allowing us to manage our emotions more effectively. Studies have shown that mindfulness meditation can lead to structural changes in the brain, increasing the thickness of the prefrontal cortex and enhancing its ability to regulate emotions. This neuroscientific perspective supports the idea that emotional control is a skill that can be developed through consistent practice. Furthermore, research in positive psychology highlights the benefits of cultivating positive emotions such as gratitude, compassion, and forgiveness. These emotions not only enhance our well-being, but also buffer against the negative effects of stress and emotional reactivity. By focusing on positive emotional experiences, we can create a more resilient and balanced emotional state. The ripple effect of emotional control. The power of not reacting and maintaining emotional control extends beyond our personal well-being. It has a ripple effect on our relationships and society as a whole. When we react impulsively or allow our emotions to dictate our actions, we often contribute to conflict, misunderstanding, and division. However, when we respond with calmness, understanding, and compassion, we create an environment of trust, respect, and harmony. In relationships, emotional control is essential for effective communication and conflict resolution. When both parties are able to manage their emotions, they can engage in constructive dialogue, listen to each other's perspectives, and find mutually beneficial solutions. On the other hand, when emotions run high and reactions are impulsive, conflicts can escalate and lead to lasting damage. Buddha's teachings on emotional control also have broader social implications. In a world that is often characterized by polarization, aggression, and intolerance, the ability to not react and maintain emotional equanimity is a powerful tool for fostering peace and understanding. By practicing non-reactivity and emotional control, we can contribute to a more compassionate and empathetic society. Applications in modern life. The principles of non-reaction and emotional control are highly relevant in today's world, where we are constantly bombarded with stimuli that can trigger strong emotional responses. Social media, for example, is a platform where people often react impulsively to posts, comments, and news, leading to online conflicts, misunderstandings, and stress. By applying Buddha's teachings, we can learn to navigate these digital interactions with greater mindfulness and restraint. In the workplace, emotional control is crucial for maintaining professionalism and fostering a positive work environment. High-pressure situations, difficult colleagues, and challenging tasks can all trigger emotional reactions. However, by practicing non-reactivity, we can stay focused, make clear decisions, and contribute to a more harmonious and productive workplace. Even in our personal lives, the power of not reacting can lead to healthier relationships, greater resilience in the face of challenges, and a more peaceful state of mind. Whether dealing with family dynamics, personal setbacks, or daily stresses, the ability to control our emotions and choose our responses is invaluable. Integrating Buddha's teachings with other philosophies. Buddha's teachings on non-reaction and emotional control are not unique to Buddhism. They resonate with other philosophical and spiritual traditions as well. For instance, Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, emphasizes the importance of controlling one's emotions and remaining indifferent to external events. Stoic philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught that our happiness and well-being depend not on external circumstances, but on our inner state of mind and our ability to respond rationally to life's challenges. Similarly, in Hindu philosophy, the concept of vairagya, detachment, encourages individuals to remain unattached to the outcomes of their actions and to maintain equanimity in success and failure. This aligns with Buddha's teachings on the impermanence of all things and the importance of remaining grounded in the present moment. In modern psychology, the concept of emotional intelligence, popularized by psychologist Daniel Goleman, echoes Buddha's teachings on emotional control. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. It is a key factor in personal and professional success, and it aligns with the principles of mindfulness and non-reactivity. By integrating these teachings from various traditions, we can develop a holistic approach to emotional control that enhances our well-being and enriches our lives. Challenges in practicing non-reaction. While the benefits of non-reaction and emotional control are clear, the practice itself can be challenging. Emotions are powerful and can often overwhelm our rational mind, leading to impulsive reactions. Additionally, societal norms and expectations sometimes encourage reactive behavior, especially in competitive environments where assertiveness and quick responses are valued. To overcome these challenges, it is important to cultivate patience and persistence in our practice. Emotional control is not something that can be mastered overnight. It requires ongoing effort and self-reflection. It is also helpful to surround ourselves with supportive individuals who share similar values and can provide encouragement and guidance. Another challenge is the internal resistance that can arise when we try to change long-standing habits of reactivity. The ego often resists letting go of its need to defend itself or assert its dominance. Recognizing this resistance and gently working through it is a crucial part of the journey towards emotional mastery. The ultimate goal: inner peace and liberation. Ultimately, the practice of non-reaction and emotional control leads to inner peace and liberation. Buddha's teachings are not merely about managing emotions in the short term. They are about attaining a state of enlightenment where one is free from the cycle of suffering caused by attachment, aversion, and ignorance. In Buddhist philosophy, this state of liberation is known as nirvana, a state of complete freedom from the fluctuations of the mind and the suffering they cause. While reaching nirvana may seem like an unattainable goal for many, the journey itself is valuable. Every step towards greater emotional control and inner peace contributes to our overall well-being and brings us closer to a life of fulfillment and contentment. Conclusion. The power of not reacting and the ability to control our emotions are profound teachings that offer a pathway to a more peaceful, balanced, and fulfilling life. Gautama Buddha's wisdom, illustrated through stories and philosophical insights, provides timeless guidance on how to navigate the complexities of our emotions and respond to life's challenges with grace and wisdom. By practicing mindfulness, cultivating equanimity, and applying practical techniques for emotional control, we can develop the inner strength to remain calm and composed, even in the face of adversity. This not only enhances our personal well-being, but also contributes to healthier relationships and a more harmonious society. In a world that often encourages impulsive reactions and emotional volatility, the ability to pause, reflect, and choose our responses mindfully is a true sign of strength and maturity. By embracing the power of not reacting, we can protect our inner peace, make wiser decisions, and ultimately live a life of greater happiness and fulfillment. The journey towards emotional mastery is ongoing, but with patience, persistence, and the wisdom of Buddha's teachings, we can all move closer to a state of inner peace and liberation.